This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Roadblock mounted in section of St. James as a road protest continue. Transport operators and the residents of East Central St. James on Monday mounted a massive roadblock to call for improved road conditions from Friendship to Maroon Town. The roadblock was unmanned. The area of concern includes the roadway to be rehabilitated under a contract signed at the office of the Prime Minister on Monday morning. Scores of commuters, including students from the Estuary Housing Scheme, Retirement, Springmount, Johns Hall, and Maroon Town were displaced. The news spoke with Martin, a taxi operator on the Johns Hall to Montego Bay route. While he was affected by the protest, the operator said he supports the move as the road is in a bad state. I heard that the MP passed here last week Thursday, but we don't have an MP, cause if we have an MP, the road wouldn't look so. Him not even come and talk to us and say, boy, the road can work pan, but such and such time. Him no make we know nothing. Him no talk to we, the taxi operator lamented. He also raised the concern that the road conditions have facilitated motorists being robbed by criminals. But Member of Parliament for St. James East Central, Edmund Bartlett, has appealed for his constituents to end their protest, particularly in the interest of students, nurses, and other commuters who have to go about their business. Mr. Bartlett said a contract was signed on Monday that will see the rehabilitation of that specific road and others. According to the MP, the work should begin shortly. Sex assault scandal rattles JDF. An unfolding sex scandal has rocked the Jamaican army after more than a dozen female soldiers reportedly came forward with allegations that they were victims of sexual assault by a high-ranking officer. The allegations range from rape to fondling and unwanted sexual advances, sources disclosed. The name of the accused is being withheld. Jamaica Defense Force insiders told the news that at least 16 women have come forward and given statements detailing their alleged ordeal. It is unclear if the police have been called in. The allegations are the worst in a series of black eyes for the military in recent months. The scandal began unraveling after the first female soldier complained to Army brass that she was sexually assaulted by the senior officer. Soon after, other females began coming forward with complaints. The JDF has not yet responded to queries from the news. Bartender found dead at a guest house in St. Anne. The Runaway Bay police in St. Anne are probing the death of a man whose body was found inside his room at a guest house. He has been identified as a 30-year-old Russian Andrew Clark, a bartender of Spicy Hill District in Trelawney. Reports are that Clark was employed at Sharky's seafood restaurant and bar in St. Anne. It is reported that he left work on Friday night and failed to report for duties the following day. Contact was then made with the operators of Salem Resort, where he was staying. Checks were made and Clark was found face down on his bed inside his room. The police were summoned and the checks revealed reportedly that his right hand was bound behind him. His head was also wrapped in a piece of cloth. It is revealed that there were no visible signs of injuries on the body. The police have yet to establish a motive for the killing. Westmoreland taxi operators protest the recent traffic changes. Scores of commuters in White House, Westmoreland were left stranded on Monday morning as the taxi operators staged a protest to show their dissatisfaction with recent traffic changes implemented in the town. The police and the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation have partnered on a public order initiative clamping down on illegal parking and restricting transport operators from picking up passengers on some roads to ease the congestion in the town. But taxi operators marched to the Transport Authority office on Monday, saying the changes are in violation of the license they were issued to operate in the town. Taxi operator Leon Haven said the traffic changes are unfair because they have cut the route of taxi. Schoolboy charged for phone robbery at Halfway Tree Transport Center. A 14-year-old schoolboy has been charged after he and his friends allegedly assaulted and robbed another student of their cellular phone at the Halfway Tree Transport Center in St. Andrew. The police say the incident happened about 3 p.m. on October 4. They say he and his friends fled the area after the robbery. The teen was later apprehended and charged on October 23. He is to face the Kingston and the St. Andrew Family Court on Friday on charges of robbery with aggravation and a common assault. Nephew shoots uncle in alleged dispute over land. A man who allegedly shot and injured his uncle at Red Ground Negril in Westmoreland is now in police custody. According to information reaching the news, the man on Sunday shot his uncle in the right side of his head and the buttock, allegedly over an ongoing land and water dispute. According to the police, the injured man was sitting on his veranda at home when he was confronted by the suspect, who is his nephew. The perpetrator is alleged to have said, "Long time me I want to know," before pulling a firearm from his waistband. The man was chased by his nephew, who opened the gunfire at him, hitting him in the right side of his head and in his buttocks. The victim was assisted to the Savannah Lamar Hospital by the paramedics, where he was admitted in stable condition. The suspect was later apprehended by the police in the Negril bus park. Mentally ill man mobbed following fatal stabbing in St. Elizabeth. A man said to be mentally ill has been admitted in hospital under police guard after he was mobbed following a stabbing incident in Braze River, St. Elizabeth. The man is accused of killing another man in an incident on Sunday night. Police named the deceased as 30-year-old Kevin White, a resident of Grossmont in St. Elizabeth. A police report said that about 9:32 p.m., White was at a bar when he was stabbed by the man, who is said to be of unsound mind. He was taken to the hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. Police said the suspect was subsequently taken to hospital after being mobbed by residents in Balaclava. This latest incident follows last Friday's shopping incident at the retirement primary school in Magotty, which left the school's principal hospitalized. Ruel Reid and Fritz Pinnock lose a Privy Council bid to have corruption charges dropped. Corruption accused the former Education Minister Ruel Reid and the ex-president of the Caribbean Maritime University Fritz Pinnock have lost their bid to have the Privy Council, Jamaica's final appellate court, dismiss the charges against them. The men have been contending that the Financial Investigations Division, which charged them, did not have the authority to do so. Last week, the UK-based court refused the men's application to appeal the issue, ruling that the Jamaican Parish Court, where the case was first brought, should decide whether the FID has the authority. Attorney at law Hugh Wildman, who represents Reid and Pinnock, said Monday that his clients will go ahead with their case for a judicial review of the decision of Senior Parish Judge Chester Crooks that the trial in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court should proceed. The Privy Council considered the application on paper. Both the Jamaican Full Court and the Court of Appeal had ruled that a legal challenge against the FID should be made in the Parish Court. The Court of Appeal is second to the Privy Council. After the Court of Appeal refused an application in November 2021 for the men to go to the UK, they applied directly by way of a special leave in an effort to have the charges dropped. Reid, his wife Sharon, their daughter Sherelle, along with Pinnock, and the Jamaica Labour Party councillor Kim Brown Lawrence are facing fraud and corruption charges involving nearly $50 million diverted from the Ministry of Education and the CMU for their personal use. They were arrested on October 2019 and had their bails extended on October 3 to return to the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on January 9, 2023. Senior Parish Judge Chester Crooks had ruled in February 2021 that the trial should proceed after the accused applied for the case to be dropped, claiming that the FID had no authority to arrest and charge them. Following the ruling, Crooks recused himself because of conflict of interest. He had attended Monroe College, St. Elizabeth, when Reid was head boy. Reid and Pinnock are asking the Judicial Review Court to quash Crooks' decision because of conflict of interest. The hearing is set for February 6 and 7, 2023. Supreme Court Judge Courtney Day in June last year halted the trial pending the ruling of the Judicial Review Court. The FID sought to have the stay overturned, but Supreme Court Judge Andrea Pettigrew Collins said she had no authority to do so. The matter is now before the Court of Appeal as the FID is appealing the ruling. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.